Hello, everyone. A very logical day to all of you. So, next week, we need to come up with a new resolution. So, this week, let us see what we are doing at the weekend. Of course, reading and mm, reading. That is it. So, reading whatever you have missed reading and listening to those articles which you have skipped. Maybe because of laziness, maybe you did not get time. But this Saturday, Sunday, make it a point that you read and listen to all those articles that you have missed. So, let's see what we have today, May 19, the first editorial of the Indian Express. And I hope you are reading one extra editorial also from maybe any other newspaper, but yes, you have to read. So, job in Bengaluru. Let's see what the article says. The resolution of the impasse after the Karnataka victory is welcome. It is not surprising, perhaps, that it took the Congress High Command days of apparently hardball negotiations with rival leaders and factions in the party to arrive at a formula acceptable to all. Siddaramaiah will be Chief Minister. Fine, DK Shivakumar remains within the tent as his only deputy, as well as PCC President. After all, the Congress Karnataka victory was not the result of any single factor, or leader, or slogan. It was the culmination of a concerted statewide effort to which many contributed, and therefore several can now lay claim to it. That means it was not a victory or a win for a single party. But yes, there were many people who were contributing to it or they were moving towards it. And when finally they have won, so that means now everybody will say, okay, they were responsible. So they can now lay claim to it. So the party must ensure that the compromise struck in Delhi does not come unstuck in Bengaluru. After all, it can ill afford for Karnataka to go the way of Rajasthan, where its government is visibly unsettled by the prolonged Ashok Gehlot versus Sachin Pilot attrition. Attrition is that abrasion of friction जैसा जो होता है. Erosion कर सकते हो. Abrasion and erosion. We'll take this later also. So, going ahead, the challenge of balancing the ambitious and aspirations within, in a state where the Congress is still a lively political presence and robust organizationally, will call for wisdom and skill. So, we have now these three main points which I have highlighted here. Let's see here. See, it was the culmination of a concerted statewide effort. एक पॉइंट ये है because it was a culmination, that means a result or a consequence of several events in sequence, so then comes the culmination. So there would be several who can lay claim to it, and therefore what is required will be wisdom and skill, right? So this is the challenge of balancing the ambitions and aspirations. So you can now relate there that whatever this victory was, it signified or it was the culmination of a concerted is coming together, a statewide effort. Therefore, because it is a concerted effort, everybody needs, or not needs to, everybody would want to reap the benefits of their efforts. Okay? So now they will lay claim to it. But now, because everybody will lay claim to it, so coming up, striking a balance, that is, right, balancing the ambitions within as well as those who are not in the party, it will call for wisdom and skill. अगर ये तीन चार वर्ड्स को ये तीन चार पॉइंट्स को मिला के हमने एक सेंटेंस बना दिया, दैट इज द मेन पॉइंट ऑफ द फर्स्ट पैराग्राफ. Let's come to the second one now. So, bigger challenges await the new Siddaramaiah government. The veteran will need the formidable political capital he has already earned as a pan state leader and as an administrator who is also an ardent proponent of governance that is sensitive to minority concerns and the imperative of backward caste empowerment to address them. So, he's a pan state leader. Pan means everywhere. So, pan state leader, Malay, he's a leader of the complete state. And as an administrator, he is an ardent. Ardent means a very passionate proponent. The proponent is a person who is following. So he's a passionate follower of governance that is sensitive to minority concerns. मतलब minority की बातों को वो सोचते हैं, समझते हैं, ठीक है, अपने ही स्टेट में. And therefore the imperative of backward caste empowerment, that means he can understand why this backward caste empowerment is necessary. तो वो imperative हो जाता है. It is necessary to address these problems. So वो जानते हैं कि ये problems हैं state में. Now, the rout of the unremarkable Basavaraj Bomai government has not just handed the Congress a famous victory, it has also pointed to the uphill road ahead. This becomes an idiom here. The uphill road का मतलब होता है पहाड़ी चढ़ने वाला जो road है. It will always be a difficult task. Difficult is arduous, right? So this is an uphill task. The 40% Sarkar label that contributed to bringing it down points not just to the BJP's dropping of the ball on corruption, but also to structural and systemic distortions and a narrowing vision of the public good across governments and parties. The state, which boasts of Bangalore as the hub of technological innovation and entrepreneurial energy, needs a government that can take the next steps and set the bar higher both for the city and the state. So Karnataka has waited too long already for a Karnataka model of governance. तो ये एक मॉडल उसके पास अपना अलग होना चाहिए. Now that they have come into the play. So the major point here would be they need to take the steps higher and make a Karnataka model of governance, right? So that means this person, there are bigger challenges awaiting the ministers, and you connect the first part with the last part and you get the major point of that paragraph. Now, as a Sidamaya government gets down to its job, अब उनके सामने क्या job है, क्या task है, uphill task है, ये सब बता दिया, ठीक है? Now they will start doing it. It will also need to ensure that while addressing the special needs, it looks upon the state's distinct regions. Distinct means very clearly demarcated, alag-alag hona, right? And cast equally. And expand spaces for the minority. Now, see, in the second paragraph also we saw that this person would focus on the minority. And he knows what the problems are and how to resolve them, right? So both the CM and his deputy belong to South Karnataka, and neither is from the so far politically dominant Lingayat caste. The onus of fairness and even-handedness is on the new government, right? So they belong to South Karnataka. Neither is from the so far politically dominant Lingayat caste, मतलब दोनों इन caste के नहीं है. So the onus of fairness and even-handedness, सबको एक बराबर रखने का जो onus है, responsibility है, that is on the new government. It must also dispel the anxiety. Dispel मतलब scatter कर देना, हटा देना, dismiss कर देना. The anxieties that have assailed the sections of Muslims in the state due to provocations on the Bomai government's watch, from the hijab ban to the rows over halal and love jihad and economic boycott calls against a community. So now they said that they were working for they will work for the minorities. Now in the minorities comes this also. And these are a few things under the Bomai government. The halal and love jihad and economic boycott, ये सब था, but then they will be like dispelling, scattering in the sense that dismissing this anxiety now. So the onus of applying the healing touch, अब उनके लिए क्या करेंगे, is also on Karnataka's new government. It must use its decisive mandate to give Karnataka the government it deserves and the change it has voted for with its feet for. With its feet मतलब वो खुद ही आके उन्होंने ये change वो लेके आए हैं, तो now they have to work for this change, right? So the people have voted them, so these people now need to work. So the major point of this last paragraph would be that onus of fairness and even-handedness is on the new government, right? Second, it will need to ensure that while addressing the special needs, it looks upon the state's distinct regions. मतलब ये काम है, ये base बन जाता है, reasoning बन जाता है, and this becomes the point now. right? And it has to dispel the anxieties of those people also. So it must use its decisive mandate to give Karnataka the government it deserves. इलेक्शन हो गया, वोटिंग हो गई, जीत हो गई, अब हमें क्या करना है? अब उनको काम करना है जो कि it will be very difficult, not very difficult, but yes, it is still an uphill task. This is called an uphill task, right? An arduous journey, right? Something that is your path when it is full of difficulties, that becomes an uphill task. Combining these 3 points together, you have this: Siddaramaiah and Shivakumar should get to work to give Karnataka the government it deserves, the change it voted for. Right? तो जो जो एक्सपेक्ट किया है, अब जो वोट किया है, जिसने वोट किया है, तो दे नीड टू कम अप विद द वर्क. So here comes the vocabulary. So we have these words now: fractions, culmination. I hope you're noting down the words because you know that you don't need to cram the words. And I say this repeatedly, I've been saying this. Do not cram the words. So what is required is when you go across, come across these words, you should be able to recall them. You should be able to connect them with something because you have been reading daily. Daily means so many articles. We suggest you to read, and you have to read those articles. When you're reading that, somewhere or the other, you'll come across these words again, and that is how you will understand that yes, these words are there in your subconscious mind. You don't need to cram them, you don't just need to learn them. वो नहीं होना है, right? This is something that I've repeatedly said, so kindly understand. Factions means sections of the society. I'm writing these answers, these meanings on my own. Culmination, as we did, was culmination is the result, the outcome, right? But after a series of events. तो सीरीज ऑफ इवेंट्स होते हैं और फिर कल्मिनेशन होता है. ये हमें थोड़ा सा समझ में आना चाहिए because the words, though they seem synonymous, they are like result, effect, impact, repercussions, ramifications, consequences, culmination. ये सारे words कहीं ना कहीं related होते हैं. They are almost on the same lines, but not used interchangeably. So culminate is like after a series of events, the outcome or the result. Attrition, as we did it earlier also, it is erosion or abrasion. Abrasive का मतलब होता है जहाँ पे जो अपर लेयर होती है वो घिस जाती है या तो वो that is wiped out, right? Where the polish is removed, that is abrasion. Robust is something that is strong. Formidable, right? Formidable heights of the mountains means something that is like threatening, intimidating. ठीक है, intimidating हम लिख सकते हैं. Intimidating. फॉर्मिडेबल पर्सनालिटी ऐसा भी हो सकता है ना कि कहीं हम किसी पार्टी में गए हैं ना, वी आर लाइक अनएबल टू अप्रोच अ पर्सन. आसान नहीं है उससे बात करना, तो फॉर्मिडेबल हो जाता है, मतलब हमें डर लगता है उससे बात करने में. इन दैट मैनर, राइट? सो इट इज लाइक थ्रेटनिंग और इंटिमिडेटिंग, causing fear, you can say. Pan state, of course, we understood pan is overall or all over, कुछ भी लिख सकते हैं. आर्डेंट फॉलोअर होता है, आर्डेंट बिलीवर होता है, राइट? वेरी पैशनेट, आर्डेंट रीडर. इंटेंस, यू कैन से ना, इंटेंस इमोशंस जहां पे होते हैं वो आर्डेंट होते हैं. इम्पेरेटिव इज समथिंग दैट इज एसेंशियल, राइट? रूट मीन्स टू डिफीट. Uphill road we did an arduous task or a difficult situation, you can say. That means something that needs a lot of attempts and efforts on your part. करना ही पड़ेगा, लेकिन ज्यादा मेहनत लगेगी, तो दैट विल बी एन अपहिल रोड. Dispel is to scatter, dismiss. Provocation, provoking somebody is to instigate. किसी को भड़काना. Instigate, you can say. You can use the word annoy or vex, right? That is provocate. Provoke. So instigating आ सकता है, annoying है, vexing है, कुछ भी आप लिख सकते हो. हब का मतलब होता है center, right? So Bangalore is an IT center, no? So it is an IT hub in that way. Indore is an education hub, ऐसा बोल सकते हैं. और a food hub, ये भी होता है. Onus is responsibility. Accountability, you can write. There we go. So now you see, every day if you get this much, like yesterday I gave you a few words to read on, and I hope you have noted down those words so that you are able to read it by Sunday or Monday. ठीक है, बहुत बोरिंग लगेगा तो नो प्रॉब्लम, लेकिन आप एक एक टॉपिक करके थोड़ी देर तो आप पढ़ ही सकते हो. सो डू नॉट never give an excuse that you do not have the time, never give an excuse that you are unable to read. You are able to read and you can find time in your 24 hours definitely. ठीक है, तो अभी मतलब मई खत्म हो गया, मैंने ये तुम्हें पहले भी बोला था, मतलब मई आया गया ऐसे खत्म. जून जुलाई अगस्त सितंबर अक्टूबर नवंबर दिसंबर आके चले जाएगा ऐसे ही, एंड द क्लाइंट विल बी देयर एट द डोरस्टेप. So you have hardly 5 to 6 months, you can say, to enhance yourself, to come up with your reading skills, with your understanding, interpretations. ये सब तुम्हें करना है, लेकिन ध्यान से, and you need to be regular in your reading. So that's all for today. See you tomorrow, and thank you. Have a logical day ahead.